I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this loud and proud. About time. Yugioh is like the old man who hates change when it comes to the most obvious things. How is it that out of the big three card games, Yu-Gi-Oh, it took this long to get full arts? Everybody's been doing this. Shoot, as a matter of fact, how did you let games like Flesh and Blood, Lorcana, Star Wars Unlimited beat you to full arts? Like are you kidding me? Like, I'm an old school Yugi tuber. I mean, Yugi boomer. And I still love Yu-Gi-Oh. I just hate how it's run. Let's be honest. It would be a lot better for everybody to just print their own cards, start their own tournaments, and the money that you spend on Yu-Gi-Oh go and put into the S&P 500. But no, we're part of this. We've been part of this community for decades. If you started in the beginning like I did, and when I started playing other games, just the amount of lack of care from Konami, how the slow dragging of his feet, not really doing their best. Yes, you can say, oh well, they got to go through Japan. Okay. And this is why I hate the TCG OCG split. Why is it that every other game when they start, they allow everybody to use their older cards from older sets when they're and they're gonna do like a special reprint set to catch those regions up? Don't tell me it's impossible, because I'm watching Les do it with Flesh and Blood. Because when Japan came into the game, they could use English cards, and they printed them their own box to catch them up when it came to the hardest to find cards to get in Japanese. Yes, you can say, well, Yu-Gi-Oh has different type of printing. I get that. I get the OCG and TCG cards are totally different print qualities. And, changing that now is impossible for tournament reasons. Logistically, you can do it. But the fact that there's a video on here that even shows random normal monsters, regular normal monsters that are still in the OCG but not in the TCG. Why? You could have gave them away in OTS packs. Why is it that Japan and the OCG get everything but the West we don't? Why? Like honestly, when you talk about marketing, realistically, you don't need a marketing team in Yu-Gi-Oh when it comes to the hardcore fan base. All you need to do is just translate everything over into English. Or if you're in Europe, to French, German, whatever. That's all you have to do, because we're all begging for the same thing. Period. And since we're begging for the same thing, realistically, this is why Worlds means nothing. We should have had a full art Dark Magician and Blue Eyes and Red Eyes 15 years ago. Let's just be honest. And you can't, and I've seen videos where people will say, oh, well, it's the spirit of Yu-Gi-Oh! Pause. Look how many different type of monsters that we've gotten. The original spirit of Yu-Gi-Oh! Changed at Battle City. And you're like, oh, what are you talking about? Well, in the manga, we're playing by completely different rules in the manga. The manga, the creator, he was making it up as he goes along, because it's a week to make these chapters. So you can't tell me, oh, this spirit of Yu-Gi-Oh. No, it's a cash cow. It's been a cash cow for decades. The fact that we finally got stamps on cards when you top events, it's hitting the wall, and Konami's realizing we are slowly bleeding players to our competition. Not realizing that Yu-Gi-Oh is a player first game. It's not collector first. It's a player first game. And the things that we ask for are just artistically different changes. It's not like we want packs with 18 cards and the price to stay the same. We're not asking for much. We're asking for very little. Now, a lot of the old school players can remember When Gores was out in Japan, we were screaming, yo, can we get Gores? Can we get Gores? Because we needed it, because we had issues that the OCG didn't have, and we couldn't get it for what reason? It made zero sense to us. We even had Julia Hedberg, and if you know who she is, she was one of the best big time people who advocated for us in Konami for Gores. And by the time we got Gores, it was great, but he was really irrelevant. We wouldn't have had to deal with so many OTK and FTK problems if we had them early on. This whole Konami always dragging their feet, allowing the meta to be terrible, is why we had to have Genesis format as an invention. Period. Like, really, Konami needs to step their game up and listen to what players have and roll stuff out a bit faster. The fact that it took this long to get stamps on cards, you know, we're gonna number cards. Magic did that a while ago, and you know, it's something simple, but if you pull a 1 of 500 card and it's $500, oh, cool, and you're going to sell it to somebody who really wants it. Like, they're rich players who'll buy it just so they can have it. I met them. Then you can turn around and go buy a case. The money come right back to Konami. It's just, I don't know what they're doing. You can't tell me players like Billy Brake don't have great ideas that'll make Konami money and keep the player base happy, and he's being ignored. You can't tell me some of his best ideas have been implemented. I promise you, he's been ignored, and he came up with great ideas. He's like, everybody wins here, and they're just like, nah, we're not gonna do it. If you ask me, it seems that Konami Japan is really running things, and they do not understand their customer base anymore. The amount of people I've seen leave Yu-Gi-Oh to go play Magic, to go play Flesh and Blood, to go play One Piece competitively and drop off, even casuals. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh is not going to die because it's a bad game. Yes, there are flaws. All games have flaws. Yu-Gi-Oh's main problem is Konami's stubbornness and realizing that you need to pay attention to all your competition, not just Pokemon. You're never going to be Pokemon. Pokemon used to be in third for a long time. It used to be Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh going back and forth, and now Yu-Gi-Oh is in third, and One Piece is threatening to take that, and Yu-Gi-Oh is now going to be in number 4. Yu-Gi-Oh is going to only be in the Elite 4. It's not going to be in the Big 3. And it's Konami's fault. So I expect, you know, a Dark Magician, a Blue Eyes, and a Red Eyes full art card. Period. Prize cards should be full art. Period. Your top 8 cards should be full art. Borderless. I know Konami got their own name. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. We need full art borderless cards. Every set. For every YCS championship. Like, this is not hard. This will add value. You know, like borderless ultimate rares, borderless starlights. This is not difficult at all. Make them hard to get. Make it, oh, I pulled a borderless card. Make it worth something. And then down the line, years, then bring out, you know, commons. You know, it's not hard, and make pulling, make people want to open Yu-Gi-Oh cases again. Make Yu-Gi-Oh great again. Like, come on now. But I'm done with this little rant. Let me know what you think. I have more content. This is a different type of channel, so I'm not gonna just talk about Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm gonna talk about any other game. And until next time, have a great day.